Hello fashion enthusiasts, you're welcome to TF Designs. I'm TIA and today we're going to be learning how to draft a front and a back skirt block. Okay, so I have my pattern paper here and ensure your pattern paper have enough space to accommodate your hip measurements with extra 2 inches. So I'm just dividing my pattern paper into two because I'm going to be drafting the front and the skirt block, the front and the back block on this same pattern paper. So I went ahead to label front, back to know which belong to each piece. Then I went on with my 1 inch standard from my starting point just to indicate my starting line. And yeah, the measurement you are going to be needing for this: your waist circumference, hip circumference, your skirt length, and of course your hip length. My hip length is 8 inches, and that is what I'm going to be using just from your waist, your low waist or wherever you want it to be, if your high waist or low waist, down to your hip. So now I'm just going to insert that 8 inches, which is my hip length, and I'm inserting that just around. I'm making dotted lines to ensure accuracy, and I'm doing the same for the back part also. All right, so I'm just going to start with the front majorly, and then we'll move to the back. So I've connected this dotted line. This is going to be my hip line. Okay, and yes, for the back also, this is going to be my hip line. So now I just went ahead to label that as my center front. That will be cut on fold, and yes, my hip for clarity purpose. So yeah, the measurement, my waist circumference is 28 inches divided by 4, that is 7 inches. But remember that I'm going to be adding 1 inch for my dart. And my bust span is 7 inches divided by 2, 3.5. And I just went ahead to put that, indicate that. Then I came down by 4.5 inches for my front length, for my front dart, 4.5 inches from the starting point, and on either side of the dart line I took 0.5 inches, and I just connected that to be able to, I connected my dart legs to the starting point. Okay, so now the next thing I want to do is to put in my hip circumference divided by 4. Mine is 37 rather, divided by 4, 9.25, and I just indicated that. So I added 1 inch to my waist measurement for my dart, and then I'm just going to put my hip measurement down to all I have on this pattern paper. What I use for the skirt length is like about 14 to 15 inches. I think 14 inches. I forgot to show you that. So it depends on the length of the skirt you want. So this is just a basic block. So now I've connected my hip to my waist measurement down to my skirt length, and I'm just going ahead to do the same for the back. But before then, I'm taking 2 inches for zipper allowance. So this is going to be my center back where I'm going to start measuring from. I'm taking 2 inches for my zipper allowance, but mind you, I'm using just not the real line. This is not going to be my real zipper allowance. That is why I'm using dash lines. Okay, so now from that dash line I'm going to also put in my darts, my back darts. I'm using 5.5 inches for my back darts. I also put in my waist measurement just like the front, added 1 to it for the dart, and here I'm just going to connect my dart legs to my dart point. Okay, so on either side of the dart line I put 0.5 inches and connected it to my dart origin. Okay, now after doing that, I went ahead to measure my hip with 1 inches for that. Also ensure that I put in my my hip circumference rather, and I put the same hip circumference measurement for my skirt length. So this is just a straight skirt, okay? If I want to say pencil skirt, I'll just show you how to alter this. But this is a basic block skirt. So as you can see now, I already have all my measurement connected. Now we're going to be focusing on this back skirt block a bit. Now if you look at from that zipper part, the upper part, I'm coming in from the waist region by 0.5 inches. This is to allow your skirt sit well on your bum. Why? Because our bum is not straight, then that particular place does not have to be straight. Just like our zipper allowance for the normal back block or the back bodies. Okay, so I've connected that to my waist as you can see, and from that point I'm taking my 2 inches, which is going to end up eating out of my original skirt measurement. So now you can see it's closer to the dart, and if I leave my skirt like this, then I would not have a proper fit, or it might be too tight, or it will not even be convenient at all when I'm done sewing. So after connecting this to the waist, I just straighten up the line on the lower part to make my new zipper line visible, as you can see. So what I'm going to do now to ensure that this particular measurement is balanced is that I'm going to be adding 0.5 inch. As you can see, I have 7.5 after measuring, but I added 0.5 inch to make it 8 inches. That is 7 inches for my normal waist plus 1 inch is that. Now this is going to be my new side seam. I'm just joining this to my hip and I'm cancelling out my previous line so that I know the particular line. So from here now, we're almost through. I'm just going ahead to add seam allowance to this back pattern. For this back pattern, I added like 1 inch seam allowance. You can decide to add 1 or 2 or 1.5. It depends on what you totally want. So yeah, I'm just connecting the lines together and I'm just following the shape of my hip with my hip, or with my pattern master rather. I'm just making slight curves with my pattern master. And seriously, this is one of the easiest thing anyone can do to draft a skirt block, both the front and the back. It's so easy. Now for the front, I would advise you come down by 0.5 inch or 0.75 depending on how bulgy or how your tummy is. This is just to create a slight curve on your front part of your skirt. This is really important. So from that side seam, you just come down with a slight curve to the front part, as you can see the way I did mine. Now this is really important and I would suggest you do this or you try this. It's going to give your skirt a beautiful look at the end of the day. So this is it, and at this point I just went ahead with my paper, scissors, and I just cut out this unnecessary part in my pattern so that I'm going to be able to, you know, cut out clearly on my fabric. So every other extras, I'm just cutting them out. And if you notice on the upper part of my back pattern, there is no seam allowance. On the lower part too, there is no seam allowance. I'm indicating this, but on the side seam, I have seam allowance. So when I want to cut on fabric, I'm always going to add seam allowance. And I'm going to be telling you when I'm doing this. So fam, this is just it. Look at it, look at it. It's so beautiful, so easy to make. And you're going to see the beauty of this curve we made on the zipper side when I'm done showing you a tutorial on how to, you know, sew a stylish skirt with this pattern. It will be so beautiful. Okay, so this is just for a straight skirt, like I said, for a straight skirt. And yeah, I'm just trying to show you the curve I folded in my zipper just for you to look at the way it's going to be. So it's just going to sit well. It's going to make the bum sit proper, like sit very, very well, conveniently. Maybe you're using a stretchy material or not to sew your skirt. Okay, now, so this is it for a straight skirt, how to draft a skirt block for the front and the back pattern. So if you want to just, you know, change this, if you have, this is just me showing you the length at the end of the video. I'm sorry, that should have come earlier. So I just used 14 inches. This is just like half of what my normal skirt length. So this is it, fam. If you're enjoying this tutorial, do let me know in the comment section. Thank you so much for being here today. I love you all. See you in my next video. Bye.